is an unusual topic discussed in our daily routines. As Americans, we use freedom of speech every day. Speech is a power that is used to inform, persuade, or advertise a person's point of view. On a college campus such as St. John Fisher, different forms of freedom of speech, verbal and nonverbal, are present in many ways, and the students who make up this college campus are very active in roles that use freedom of speech. John Snyder, a student leader on campus, explains his role.
I'm the Vice President of Student Government Association, so I facilitate Council of Presidents meetings where we bring the presidents of all the clubs together. We promote communication between the clubs, try and encourage them to work together more, of how they can collaborate more in events.
Tom Tharp, another senior, explains the important role freedom of speech plays in his life as a college student.
I am the president of the Fisher Christian Fellowship, and like I said, freedom of religion, that's another big part. We get to come together, we discuss our faith, we discuss our faith with other people who may not be of the same faith. Sometimes there's panel discussions. I'm also a big proponent of Fisher Cardinal Television, where we come together and we do TV shows, and sometimes we come up with some pretty wacky stuff, but hey, that's freedom of speech too. I do plays and musicals.
Tom Tharp comments on where freedom of speech is present on the St. John Fisher campus.
You can see freedom of speech in a lot of places on campus. Anytime that there's an exchange of ideas, friends just sitting together at the lunch table, discussing what they think of politicians or anything like that, that's freedom of speech. In places like China, you really can't do that because you come together and discuss political candidates in the open and they might shoot you.
Freedom of speech is also celebrated on the college campus during the 4 Freedoms Week, which John Snyder helped organize.
4 Freedoms Week specifically talks about freedom of speech and how we can be more accepting and more open-minded towards differing opinions. We focus on the 4 freedoms, which are freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom from fear, and freedom from want. And Women and Gender Studies, for instance, does a clothesline project every year where they'll put up shirts that'll allow themselves to express how they feel about violence against women. That's just one example of how our campus specifically is welcoming of freedom of speech and promotes freedom of speech.
Day of Celebration is also part of 4 Freedoms Week.
Day of Celebration is a cultural event that's happening this weekend, actually. So we're going to be, providing a space for, all kinds of cultures and faiths and diverse people to come together and speak their minds and, speak freely, from their own different backgrounds.
While the students attend St. John Fisher, they are also encouraged to vote in local and national elections. Senior Nick Violette tells us about his voting experience as a college student.
Well, I remember there being, last time there was an election, a lot of emails out about going out and voting, getting to the voting booths and getting our votes in. So in that way, I think they promote voting.
Tom Tharp also comments on an issue young college students have when it comes to voting.
College students really have a lot on their plates. They are really busy working on homework, working on clubs, working on getting jobs and real lives outside the college world.
Nick also talks about why it is important for his generation to be actively involved in the election process and what our generation can do to make voting more accessible to college students.
I think it's important for students of my age group to vote because we're going to be the ones that are making all the decisions later on. All your politicians that are in office now are all in their 50s, 60s, 70s, who knows. But, the people of my age group are going to be the ones who are actually making the laws in the future. So by voting now, we're ensuring that we're putting politicians in office who are going to be looking out for what our values are going to be in the future.
Until Americans value all types of freedom of speech, we will not be able to take full advantage of being citizens of the United States of America.